How big of a separation is the top three, Rahm, Scheffler, Rory? How much of a gap is there between those three and whoever you would have at four going into this tournament?
It's a wide as gap as you can get in a major championship, I think, which probably isn't that wide, but usually you don't have too much between 3 and 4. And those three guys seem to be dominating everything that's going on this year. I think you'll see some guys spring up, of course, but really, if you gave me those three in the field, I'd probably take those three. I really think that they are that dominant. I feel really good about Rory McIlroy. I mean, Scottie Scheffler is like number one in greens and regulation, number one in strokes gained off the tee. I mean, you put those two combinations together, and he's probably as good a clutch putter as I have seen in a long time. He's not a great putter, but he makes putts when he has to. Last year on the 18th green or the 72nd hole, he four-putted. Of course, he didn't have to make those, so That's the exception. But I do think he is a very good clutch putter, and I don't know. I can make a case for any of those three. And then when you go beyond that, we all start. We were doing it in our room here today before we taped some stuff, and it was sort of nobody really had a consensus on who number 4 or number 5 is.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've been trying to prep for pools like everyone else, and I think Cantlay is a guy that a lot of people are looking at, but he doesn't have great history at the majors. Colin Morikawa, maybe Homa. Is it Schauffele? Is it one of the live guys? I mean, it does feel like a significant drop off, and I'm curious with what Corey Connors just achieved over this last weekend and his history of being a top 10 machine at the Masters. Is he closer to 4 than maybe people might think, Weeksy? Because, again, he's been so good at Augusta National, and he's coming off a triumphant weekend in Texas.
Yeah, and he's smart now. He took yesterday completely off. He didn't come to the golf course. He realized he was tired. There's no sense in practicing. He played a practice round with Mike Weir for 18 holes and a front 9 with Mac Hughes and Adam Svensson. And I talked to Mike Weir after, and he said, man, this guy hits it just so pure. And he hits so many greens. He hits so many fairways. That's the part of his game that shined the last 2 weeks at the match play, but especially in Texas. And all he needs to do is be a decent putter. And if he does that, then I think he has a really legitimate chance. And you're right. He's as close to 4. I would put him in the top 10 right now. If I was picking guys and had to pick 10 guys, I would definitely have him in the top 10 and maybe in the top 7. And I think you could, in certain cases, make a case for him to be that number 4 guy. But it's a crowded group in that sort of 4 to 10 area.
Sure.